Hi everyone, it's me, Spring, the fiber enthusiast. Welcome back to another episode. This is episode 41. Heck yeah, y'all. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. Welcome to all of my new subscribers, channel, family, friends, and members. Welcome in, and hope to see you around in the comments and be able to get to know you, if I don't already. Lots of fun stuff always going on here in this channel. Tutorials Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is where I spin yarn live and try to have a guest spinner so you can kind of see two different ways of spinning and things like that. And then Saturdays are my episodes. All right, let's get into it. What has Spring been working on this week? I feel like I haven't done diddly. I really do. So I had quite the rookie mistake, not once, but twice this week. The first one is the pattern that I was working up. Instead of doing a 2 decrease in the knitting and 2 yarn overs, so you continue with the same amount, I was doing 1 decrease and 2 yarn overs. So I kept adding stitches, and for some odd reason, I'm like 13 rows going, why is there so many stitches? Yeah, rookie mistake. Should not have done that. So I put a lifeline in this time, since this is the 3rd time ripping it back. I put a lifeline in, and if you don't know what that is, with knitting, you have live stitches. When you pull your cable out, you have all these live stitches, and when you frog it, you have a bunch of live stitches that you got to pick back up. A lifeline makes it easier to pick them back up, and all it is contrasting color yarn, and you go through your knitted stitch, or whatever, the stitches, and you go all the way across, and you have this strand of yarn running through. It is not knitted, it is not worked in any way, shape, or form. It's just run straight through all your stitches. And that way, if I goof up again, I can not worry about dropping stitches. I can just rip back to that lifeline. So that's what a lifeline is, in case you didn't know. It's helpful, and most of the time I don't even think about doing it, but this time, being the 3rd time ripping it out, I said, that's it. I started my April socks. Some of you have seen me show the pattern that I'm planning on using for the April Sock It To Me 2020 challenge, which is being hosted by Kim Knits and Crochets and Linda Simpson and her crochet nook. But that is the pattern that I will be working on. I've had this book for quite some time. I picked it up at a yarn auction on a Facebook group several years ago, and I've never used any of the patterns in it. This has a picot cuff, so that's new to me. So I've been hesitant, and I'm almost ready to work the actual picot section. It don't look like much now, but I have that much done on the first sock. This is kind of a test to see if I can do it, and then I'll do the other one and make sure that they are similar, which they should be. And if they work out and look proper, then I'll probably throw them on my long cord and work the rest of it 2 at a time. We'll see. So that's my April's Sock It To Me 2020. I said 2020. 2022 challenge sock. So that's for April. I didn't get much further on my Lissa Conley locking filet crochet toddler blanket, but I have made it a little bit further. Hopefully I can get done with this coming week, maybe, hopefully. Y'all pray for me, I can get something done. So the next thing that I did that I started that was a rookie mistake, and those of you that knit are gonna laugh. So I love color work, and I test knit for Connie, just another stitch. I enjoy doing her beanies, and so I have one started. And I was talking to her one night, and I said, hey, if I knit this fast enough, you want me to fill in and test knit the other one? You're looking for test knitters. And she's like, yeah, sure, that's fine. No problem. I was like, okay, great. So I had already had the brim of the hat done and was getting ready to start the color work. And I don't have any problems with color work. I usually zip right through it. Until I decided that I was going to outsmart my project, right? I thought, you know, instead of carrying these colors all the way around and around and around and around, because it's going to be a lot of colors to carry at one point, and it's a heavy yarn, so it's going to be bulky. I thought, well, I'll just cut off bobbins like we do in crochet and just bring the color up as I go and knead it again. Yeah, I know those of you that knit and have done color work are probably dying laughing right now. Yeah, I laughed at myself too. Yeah. The color work section is like not connecting to the rest of the hat. You can only imagine. So I had to take it all apart and start all over again. Lucky me, right? That's what I get for thinking that I was going to cheat the system. Don't work. So I'm working on that. Hopefully I get that done. Those of you that have been hanging out for a little while know that I had purchased some clearance size 7 weight yarn. It's kind of like a thick and thin, and with the purpose of turning it into Rolegs and respinning it into a 3-weight DK 2-ply yarn. Coming up this coming week is going to be a video showing how I did it, the process that I used. I didn't weigh anything. Generally, when you're working with something like this, you would want to weigh and make sure that each of your colors weighed the same and that your spinning and your sections are all of equal amounts in order for it to be a self-striping. But I didn't do that. It was all a test, and I just wanted to see what would happen. I'll show you the yarn for those that haven't seen it. It's called Spectacular. And as you can see, there's thin spots and thick spots. The thick spots are unspun and the thin spots are overspun. And you can tell that they're overspun by the kink in the area that's spun. It's really tight. So what I did was untwist those overspun areas and blended the colors on my blending board and made what's called Rolegs to spin on my electric spinning wheel and then ply on my larger Bumblebee spinning wheel. So I managed to get 2 electric spinning wheel bobbins, mostly full, not exactly full, but mostly full, and then I couldn't stand it anymore. I had to ply them together. So here we are. Now I will open this up and we'll look at it a little bit closer. So it started off self-striping, and then as I got further into it, the color changes started getting longer on one bobbin and not the other. So then it started doing this barber pole, and when it's worked up, it will look a little bit like fractal spun yarn because of the way it changes color. And let's see if I can get somewhat of a decent look here. So as you can see, we started off with 2 of the white and then 2 of that light seafoamy green looking color. And then we went into the dark teal color and then purple. And then we started where the colors were not matching up anymore because one bobbin had longer color changes than the other. But it's all sparkly and fun. So this was a fun experience. I definitely probably would use my scale a little bit more, weigh out the fibers, make sure that each Whirligig is consistent in the amount of color. Each color being, you know, an equal amount on the blending board. So that way, you know, it was more even and consistent. So that is it, all in its sparkly goodness. It was fun though. It was a lot of fun. So we'll see what happens with the rest of this. I mean, there's a ton here in each one of these. So we'll see what happens. This coming Wednesday is the very last Wednesday of the mystery chat along. And should I show you guys what mine looks like finished? Y'all can wait. We'll wait until after Wednesday, and then next weekend you'll get to see it. Or Wednesday in the end of the video, you'll get to see it actually. That is it for this week. Kind of a little bit chaotic, and had PT and an eye doctor appointment and all kinds of crazy stuff happening, and I literally feel like I have done nothing but go backwards in things instead of working forward. This feels like the only thing that I've accomplished this week. Wait, it is. Real quick update on my knee. Doing really good. I went to my second physical therapy. We did the exercises of straight leg raises and flexing and extending on the foot and working the hamstrings and all of that good stuff. And again, the physical therapist was extremely impressed with how strong my leg is. My only concern was I'm having an issue where if I sit too long and I go to stand up, it doesn't want to go from a 90 to straight or close to, and vice versa. If I've had it straight too long, it doesn't want to bend. We worked with that, and he said it's a new body part and it's got to learn. It doesn't have a memory and an understanding of what it's supposed to do yet, so it needs to learn. And that makes perfectly good sense. I told him that when I have my brace off, because next week I go braceless, I'll be 100% weight bearing. So I told him that my concern when I have my brace off is I feel a lot of swelling pressure. Not necessarily visual swelling, but swelling pressure. And we talked about the fact that it's intercapsular, which is in the joint itself. And my body just has to learn to absorb that inflammation that's happening because it's so used to the compression. it's not adjusted to being having to absorb and take care of itself at this point. So that'll be a work through. I hope that that goes as quickly as everything else seems to be going. Really, really happy with the way things are going with my knee and how fast I'm able to, fast but safely, without re-injuring and causing more damage. So, well, it wouldn't be re-injuring, it would be a new injury because it's a new part. But anyway, that is it on my knee and my works in progress and my one little finished object here. I guess we'll see you next week. And until next time, everybody, be blessed and be a blessing. Bye for now.